First, before we do talk about the port scanning, let's talk about what's really happening. Through TCP, we have what's called a three-way handshake. I know most of you might be familiar with this, but just to help add as a refresher, the understanding of what's going on. If I want to connect from my host to some other host, and I want to do this in a way that we call connection-oriented through TCP, we're going to do a three-way handshake. Now, generally speaking, they say the initiating host does a SYN, sends a SYN, S-Y-N, from itself to the destination. When that destination receives it, they do a SYN ACK, they reply, and the ACK acknowledgement lets me know they got my original packet. And then I acknowledge that. And you know, saying SYN ACK, ACK, it sounds like maybe I have a bit of a cold, but really think of it as a telephone. If I want to call you, I pick up the phone, I've got to dial your phone number. As I'm calling you, it's ringing on your side. When you pick it up and say hello, you've done step 2. You've done the SYN ACK. Now, it would be really creepy if I didn't say hello back. In that instance, then, I'm sending you my third ACK when I do the reply. We've established a session, a communication channel. That's all TCP is doing in that three-way handshake. What we need to know is how can I use that to get the information from your network, and what can you do to detect it and to block that? So we're going to talk about these port scanning tools and some of the techniques that we can do to go after those systems. The port scan, again, it's very popular. It's one of the most popular things that we do. This is what's making your system logs fill up every day because everybody's doing port scans. They're used by hackers and by crackers to discover what services that are running that I can compromise. You know, I'm going to look at those potential services and those well-known ports, but more than that, and one of the things that we forget as a security professional is there might be services, programs running, spyware, trojans, malware on our systems that are running at ports way up in the range of numbers that we're not scanning. You know, we always seem to scan those well-known ports, the ones that are popular, but we have to also remember that there are a total of 65,000 and some spare ports that can be listening. We should be scanning for those as well. So I'm going to be scanning those points, and I'm going to see which ones are available and try to find the vulnerability that I can match up with that exploit. There are a lot of different types of scan techniques. We can talk about what they call the vanilla scan, the strobe, stealth, the FTP bounce, fragmented packets, regular sweeps, UDP scans. We have all of these different types of scans because as we develop the ability to scan your network, so come the defensive parts of this, the IDS, the sensors that are listening, detecting, blocking, notifying us. And so, you know, all of these techniques have evolved because once I find a good way and you figure out how to block it, I got to come up with another way of coming after that same goal of getting those scans done. So we're going to take a look at the Pinger program, and then when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the different port scanning techniques.